guys, from the creators of a Bad Internet, we're bringing to you Musician Talk, where we talk to each other and hopefully other musicians. We'll have to have, I would say we'll have Jax on here one day, but God knows what happened last time.
Probably not.
I got a Barks root beer here. Feeling good.
I got some water, which is kind of pathetic.
What a fucking loser.
Can't beat Barks root beer.
I know, right? I don't know. I think a blue raspberry slushy could beat Barks root beer.
Oh, dude. Blue raspberry slushy is what I'm calling it.
So anyway, this is Musicians Talk, which is, what I just fucking explained. Anyway.
It's the thing where we talk about musicians.
So, I am a musician. I go by the stage name Bluesman Stetson. And I play 5-string acoustic and resonator guitar. And I play blues music. Big surprise. And Blake... Oh yeah, dude. Metal, bro. Let me play some metal. And then, Blake here, my lovely son, straight A student, 4.0 GPA good boy, is a bassist.
Oh
yeah. Just like his dad used to be for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
I was a bassist for 2 weeks.
You were.
I just played the same weird riff for a jazz band. But
exactly, yeah.
Alright, so today, yeah, right? Yeah. So today what we decided to do is we're going to do another kind of interview vacuum chamber rapid fire question like we did on the cursed episode of Bad Internet, back and forth to each other about musician shit.
Because last time it went so well.
Yeah, well today it's not with a mute. So you want to start, or?
Dude, you had questions.
Okay.
So...
Yeah. Considering that's literally how this got started. By me saying, hey, I have a couple of questions. Well, think of one while I ask mine. So, what got you into bass guitar?
So, it started out when I was young. At the church we've got, like, we've got actual performances.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the bassists, I was like, he was really into the music, and I'm like, man, I want to be just like him. And then another bassist, Rob Morgan, follow him at the Rob Morgan. He is also like one of my inspirations. And I'm like, oh man, they all make it look so great. And then another guy, Ian Allison, follow him at Ian Martin Allison. I just started listening to things he had to say, and then I just freaking loved the bass.
See, ironically enough, that's what got me into banjo.
Yeah.
Was growing up, in the country. Churches were really into music. Mm-hmm. Always, and it's that bluegrass gospel style that has resonated through the South for, generations.
Yeah.
And, I went to this little country church, and there's a banjo player sitting up here on the pulpit. And he's just over here tearing it up, and I'm all like, man, I want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And later on, I got into guitar just because I decided it's probably a more versatile instrument than a banjo, because, I wanted to follow other advents besides hipster music and bluegrass.
Yeah. And look at where you're at now. Blues.
Yeah, I play guitar on Instagram at blues_man_Stetson.
Oh, so good. We have a good old no one watching.
What do you
Great.
expect, dude? No one watches this shit till it's actually out on the airwaves.
Dude, it's like 102.
No one's watching podcasts
At 102.
at 2:02 Eastern Time. So, you got a question for me, or is this just down the drain already?
Oh yeah, I totally have all of the questions for you, you know.
Fucking think of one and ask me, my guy. I'm just gonna drink my refreshing Barks root beer. Follow them at bluesmanstetson.
At barksrootbeer.com.
Shh. At blues_man_Stetson is where you can follow Barks root beer.
I wonder if Barks Root Beer actually does have a.
I mean, they
official
probably
Barks.
do. Do they?
No posts yet. I don't think this is actual.
Yeah, no, Barks root beer be
Because it doesn't
having a
have it
pop in
verified.
Insta.
Not verified, so.
Alright, you wanna ask me a question?
Ah. How is it being a gigging musician?
What was that? I'm sorry, I was adjusting my mic because I didn't think you'd think of a question.
How is it being a gigging musician?
Phew, that's a loaded question. On one side of things, it's shitty,
Yeah.
and on the other side of things, it's really fun. I think it just kind of depends, honestly. Because, I mean, I got my start playing blues music on my front porch
Yeah.
with the Bluesman Stetson front porch sessions. And I honestly have to say I enjoyed doing that more than I enjoy doing gigs because it was very personal. The people that came up and decided to listen to me usually had something to input. Like, I had people that would walk over with guitars from, the nearby vicinity and play with me. I'd had people that come up and sing with me. I'd had people just, play my guitar and we'd play a song.
Yeah.
And you could interact with everyone equally.
Exactly, yeah.
And you can really understand the kind of people that are there. Be it your fan base or newcomers, it's an intimate understanding of that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I strive for because that's what I want to put in my music is so people can understand me. And in turn, I want to understand my listeners.
Yeah.
And now, gig-wise, it's okay, but when you're not well known and you're just now working on your first album, you get paid like fucking, $150 and a free meal.
Freaking piff. We still have to make that Instagram.
Yeah, we do.
All of the social media for piff.
At
'Cause
fucking something.
at Pompeii in Flames official.
Pompeii in Flames Vivo.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I would love to see a music video from you,
I do have plans in November of shooting a music video.
Good.
I don't know for what song, but I'll be able to do one.
Alright, so I'm just gonna say, if anybody freaking... Alright, so even if at the end of this podcast, once it's actually archived and crap, if you have any questions, type it in the comments or whatever. And
Yeah. feel free to type it down in the comments below and ask any questions you feel free to either of us.
This is a pretty good question. So, having a child and crap, how do you balance your music with other obligations?
It's hard to support. It's hard to put an album together when you're paying child support. And considering my most conversations with my son is when we have podcasts together and Instagram DMs. And I called him once. Yeah.
No.
Okay, back to the serious questions because we gotta hold this together somewhat. This isn't bad internet. We can't just let shit start falling apart. This needs to be like a nice little house in the center of Broad Ripple. Bad internet's like a trailer in Harlan County, and every time you put up a new window, part of the wall paneling falls off.
Pretty much how it goes.
My childhood in one sentence. So who would you say your biggest inspirations are? And feel free to bounce that question back off to me because I'd love to get into that. But who would you say your biggest inspirations as a bassist are?
Like I said, Rob and Ian, very big inspirations for me. But I feel like everyone looks up to Flea when it comes to music because of how great of a musician he is.
Well, he's a short man. We would look down to him, but yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But it's just because of like their musical abilities and.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like I could see going into being a bassist and looking up to Flea, kind of like how all guitarists are always going to look up to like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that are just that good that it's like, And then of course, all bassists will forever pale in comparison to Les Claypool.
Oh yeah.
Because even Davey 504 can play some of those riffs, right? His video of all the Primus riffs, he fucks up Lee Van Cleef pretty bad.
No. And Davey also got me into bass. Like I started around the time when I actually got my first bass. I was watching Davey, and I was like, man, I want to be I want to be able to play riffs on the spot. You're like, hey, Blake, can you play freaking 505 on bass?
Yeah, I've never even actually noticed the bass line in 505.
Dude, it's a really boring bass line, but it's there.
Well, I feel like that's all music.
Yeah.
But see, when I listen to somebody, I don't really focus on the music as much as I do the vocals because I'm having a seizure because I am a vocalist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny how when you're a musician you listen to music differently. Psychologically,
I think it, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but psychologically, I think it kind of revolves around two things: finding inspiration in the people you look up to, and in a more sad and sadistic, I guess more masochistic way of looking at it, is listening to it to see if you can even declare yourself worthy of playing music.
Yeah. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, because these are the people that are living your dream, and so you listen to them to see a little bit of inspiration in trying to find your sound, and B, in a very masochistic light, trying to decide if you're even worthy to follow your
Yeah.
dream. And to any musicians out there, I want to say don't give up, because I mean, despite the fact that if you don't think you're talented, or if people say you're not talented and don't like how you sound, someone is going to. We have
Oh,
2
that's-
viewers. Hello, welcome to Musician Talk. Because I dealt with that, as you know,
Exactly,
because
yeah.
you were there when I dealt with it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of criticism. I'm a deep voice man, and a lot of people, we don't want another Johnny Cash, or your guitar playing's not good enough. It's not complex enough.
Yeah.
And I listen to the music I listen to, and there's a niche market. And I think about people like Greg Jamie of O'Death, one of my favorite bands of all time, a folk band out of Maine. Greg Jamie's voice is conventionally terrible.
Yeah.
Did I ever play you their song Silk Hole, where there's a guy slamming chains into a table and they're all yelling?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I adore that song.
Yeah.
And then people like Tom Waits, you don't have to have the best voice. And you don't have to have the most complex riffs or whatever.
You don't even need to be sober.
But yeah, no. I feel like something you always have to keep in your mind is you need to do you. Don't look at anybody else to try to see if you're worthy, because you are you.
That is all music is. It's just like painting. You're not
Yeah,
gonna,
exactly. Music is art.
You're not gonna be like, all right, I am going to I'm gonna paint the Starry Night exactly the way that it was painted.
And
You're
don't
gonna
get
do it in different stroke orders.
exactly.
You're gonna do it extreme, like you're gonna do it in your own fashion.
And don't get
can cover
discouraged
up
because, let's say, in one hand, you got you, let's say, the personification of whoever's feeling the way we're explaining. Let's say you're trying to draw the Starry Night, and you ended up drawing your own art piece using that as your framework. You'll get laughed at for that because it looks nothing like it. But you created something with yourself, and that's what matters. It's about satisfying yourself and not satisfying others. And just because, let's say, the person next to you in art class draws the Starry Night to a T, just because they can and you can't doesn't mean you shouldn't. And here's how I look at it, because I listen to people like Davey504 and all these people that can play riffs of other people perfectly. And I used to draw and make comic books, and I saw people who could draw comic book characters and anime characters and all that shit to a T. And then it hit me that that's not creativity.
It really, it is.
That is using something else's skeleton. I mean, that is using something else and remodeling it.
Exactly.
That's not inspiration. That's not being inspired by something. That's copying it in a way of making an homage. The way you have to do it is you have to use the source matter as a skeleton for what you're doing.
Yes.
Like, for instance, when we were talking about, our plans for Pompeii in Flames, one of our big inspirations is the Arctic Monkeys.
Yes.
And instead of rewriting Do I Want to Know or being an Arctic Monkeys cover band, we're using their kind of fucking, more ambient kind of feeling, that kind of sound. And we're using that kind of situation to build our own body of music. Using that as the bare bones, the skeleton of it all. And, another good thing is I really do like the comparison of being a musician to being a painter. Because there isn't a lot of Van Goghs. There isn't a lot of, Pablo Picasso. You can't make these beautiful pieces. Not everybody can. But yet there are modern art museums full of avant-garde pieces that most people can't understand. And if your music is avant-garde, that's good, because there's going to be somebody out there that can understand and they can resonate with it and they can fucking build off of that.
Yes.
And that's what matters.
And then there's like modern art where it's just a black dot on a white canvas.
And even
And
then,
that's kind
I don't see a problem with that, because that black
Yeah.
dot could genuinely mean something to the person who painted it.
exactly, yeah.
And that reminds me of harsh noise. I never understood harsh noise.
Mhm.
It's literally called harsh noise. And, you know, I listen to a lot of weird shit. You know that. I'm very underground when it comes to music. As much as I don't personally understand harsh noise, I can understand why it's understood.
Yes.
There is something in everything for everyone. And it doesn't matter if you're not on the top 40 charts or if you don't become a millionaire from your music. All that matters is that you are happy and you are satisfied by your music. And if you're never happy by making music, then you shouldn't make music. If you're only making music to make money and not make yourself happy, you do not need to be in that field. Because that's diluting it.
Yes.
And that's why there's so many people going to be a doctor in college, but yet never going to do anything real.
Mhm.
Because they think this will make me money, but they don't want to commit to what it really is.
Oh,
And, you know, that's the thing with me, is when I make music, you've probably noticed my weird guitar style that I like to play, where it's
Yeah.
some weird mix of upstrumming and slapping.
Mhm.
And none of my if I played a song live that I recorded, it won't sound the same. But
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here calculating where I'm hitting. I just let my heart tell my hand what to do, and from there put the words that need to go with it. And I've been in tears during performances because songs that I have put out have brought back emotional responses.
Mhm.
And that's what you want, dude. You don't want to be another Justin Bieber who
Yes.
has the song written for them, the music produced for them, their voice completely wrecked and wrangled to sound good, and then just put out on a nothing slate.
Mhm.
That's why I don't like pop music, because traditional pop music doesn't have meaning.
Yeah.
And that's why I listen to a lot of old music, because bluegrass, the blues, old country, and shit like that, it tells a story. You can feel the conviction, the pain, the corrosion of their soul, and you feel that. You know there's something there.
Mhm.
And it's not like modern country where it's just like, here, we wrote you a song, we got somebody playing guitar for you in a studio, say these words for us, and we'll make your voice sound good, and you'll get a hefty check. That's not how music should be.
Yeah.
And sure, you can call me pretentious and whatever you want, but that's how I believe music should be.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
So, because I gave you the question, and I said I was going to bounce it from you back to me.
Yeah.
Inspiration-wise, musically, it's weird because, see, your musical tastes are built. When you're a kid, the music that you like is within the parameters of what your parents listen to.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when you start getting friends around 10, 11 to 13, then you start listening to the music they listen to and more mainstream music on the airwaves. And then about the time that you're 17, you truly figure out what you enjoy.
Yes.
Because I went through so many phases musically growing up.
Yeah.
And never did I think that I would be the fucking borderline pretentious guy sitting around listening to underground music. I never saw that coming. And I was lucky enough to have parents that liked diverse music.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really close with my family.
Mm-hmm.
My mom listened to, like, she listened to some country, she listened to, ironically enough, a lot of new metal.
Yeah.
Like Limp Bizkit and shit.
Yeah.
And then my stepdad listened to, like, the 1980s hair metal, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, shit like that. So I got that weird mixture growing up. And when I would go see my real dad listened to old country, and then, rock. My dad listens to everything. And I have an older brother who listened to a lot of industrial shit. Marilyn Manson, Rammstein. He's the reason I love the band Rammstein. 9 Inch Nails, shit like that. And then I hung out with my uncle, my mom's brother, and he was huge into rap. Classic late 90s, early 2000s rap. And then on my mom's side, my grandparents listened to country and bluegrass, and my grandma listens to a lot of, like, R&B, shit like that. And on my dad's side, my grandpa listens to exclusively old country, and my grandma listens to exclusively 70s and 80s rock and roll. So I had this weird mixture of music growing up.
Yeah.
And I led a lot towards country, a lot towards rap, and then into shit somewhere in the middle. Like the industrial metal my brother always listened to. It got me into fucking, like, Korn, shit like that. Hollywood Undead, because I also enjoyed the rap aspect. And then I got into more country style, Americana style, heavier rock like Volbeat and Clutch. And I remember listening to I went to a record store and I was listening to Leadbelly.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that. Because, I've dealt with a lot of rough shit in my life.
Yeah.
And fucking blues music hit me, and it was like, wow. This is what I enjoy. Because, I mean, something about Leadbelly's style of music and just everything about it resonated in my soul, and it just felt in ways I'd never felt. And so I always led towards the blues. I loved that shit. And then I really got into indie music when I was like 14.
Yeah.
And I remember being 14, hanging out. I had one friend, and me and her disagreed on everything. I didn't mean I had one friend in total. I'm just talking about isolating her. Because she was your...
One friend.
Yeah, right. She was what you would call soft emo, soft scene, whatever you call it. Like, she listened to that scene, but not like the more demented shit. Nothing that was overtly violent. She listened to, like, Panic, Falling in Reverse, fucking MCR, Fall Out Boy.
So,
Music
like,
I hated. Yes,
Yeah.
music I hated.
Yes.
And now that I've gotten older, I look back at, like, Fall Out Boy tracks with nostalgia. And it's like, yeah, I get a laugh out of it, and I can, I can sing along, and it just kind of takes me back, but... She always wore, like, the tight fucking pink skinny jeans and purple shoes and Asking Alexandria t-shirts, and she had the frayed hair. the constant use of a lot of bracelets.
Yeah.
And all of her friends dressed exactly the same.
Couldn't even tell which one was which.
Right, except, you know, I could always notice her because she was always really loud.
Yeah.
Overtly.
Yeah, we all.
And they
know
all
that.
look like girls, so the men and the females, the whole time you're just trying to spot for tits, but the whole time, you know, you're 14, everybody's there's 14, so that doesn't work either.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. You can't see their face, hair, and me, on the other hand, I was weird. I remember going over there the first time. I was wearing tight black rodeo jeans with cowboy boots, black leather cowboy boots that had silver tips on the end of the toes, with a fucking white button-up shirt under a red silk 80s flap jacket,
Yes. Yeah.
with the greaser haircut, and wearing rings on all my fingers but my thumb. And I walk over there, and I'm about to say the most mid-2000s thing you're ever going to hear in your life. We went over to her house to have a CD party. We all brought CDs.
Dude, what's a CD?
Kids in 2019 will be like, the fuck is
Pretty
this
much.
piece of trash?
It's so weird knowing that people won't know what a VHS is.
Yeah,
Or a
that bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Walkman.
Oh my god, I was going through Ohio, and I saw an abandoned Blockbuster. I'm just sitting here like, wow. But,
Finally over.
Yeah,
No more rewinding the tapes.
the Fire Nation won.
Yeah.
But, back to what I was saying. And I remember they're listening to this shit, and they're like, you're gonna love this. And they turned on some bullshit by, like, falling in reverse, and I'm sitting here like, is there a button to end my life?
Is there a... Let me quick check.
And they're all like, what do
Throwing
you
that
listen to? And I take out a mixtape that I made on my fucking 2009 Compaq computer. And I put it on there, and the first song on that was fucking The World at Large. No, it was Never Ending Math Equation. The third track was World at Large by Modest Mouse. And it was just Modest Mouse and, you know, indie folk music, and they're all like, what the fuck is this?
What is this crap? Never-ending math equations that never really ever end.
But, you know, and then of course I went into getting into music, and I hated it because I hated the way I sounded. But as of now, you know, I've grown used to it, and I've grown to accept what I can and can't do.
So, I feel like we might want to get into this. The freaking... The origin of band names and, like, why we created, or why you created Bluesman Stetson, what we created.
Okay, yeah, that's actually a question I've never been asked, and I would love to talk about it. Tracking it back ages ago, I would say back in 2014, my friend Avery and I were talking, and a staple of me and Avery's friendship was we would just take pictures of us doing random ass stupid shit and send them back and forth as reaction images.
Yeah.
And I at that time period, I had written some music. I had written some murder ballads, because see, Porter Wagner is one of my favorite musicians of all time. I want to say favorite, but I can't choose between him and Tom Waits.
Yeah.
And I wrote some music that were murder ballads, because Porter Wagner wrote a lot of songs that were murder ballads. And
Yeah.
I enjoy heartbreak songs and murder ballads, and not my album, I just mean in general, because they have fucking emotion and they have conviction. And that's what I'm looking
Mhm.
for. And so from there, you know, whatever. And I had a Stetson cowboy hat, and I put it upside down on my head and got it to balance. And then at one point, I put it on like the side of my head, and he called me Crooked Stetson.
Yes.
And I'm all like, that sounds sick. That is like a great stage name. Because I will never use my real name
Yes.
ever, because I want to have a disconnect from who I am as a person and who I am as a musician. And so I was all like, yeah, dude, Crooked Stetson. I was like, that'll be my kind of dark Southern Gothic folk and country name. Well, I could never find a group that would work well enough with what I wanted to be in that kind of group. And you can't just have, you know, one person and a musician be a Southern Gothic folk band. So, I got into blues. I never thought I'd be able to play it because I wasn't a guitar guy. And then, you know me, I got a guitar and I made my signature riff, and from there I just fell back in love with the genre. And I was trying to think of a name. Because I was like, I want to put out a fucking album. And you were there the night. It was me, you, and DJ. When I
Yeah.
was talking about putting out an album.
Yeah.
And I had to think of a good stage name. And I wanted to call myself the Blues Man, but that's been taken. I don't want to cause any confusions and things. And I didn't want to go by Crooked Stetson because it just wasn't right, considering the genre. It didn't sound like it would work well enough. So I just kind of put the two together, Bluesman Stetson. And I have a lot of brand loyalty to the Stetson company. All of my cowboy hats, my cowboy boots, my cologne, and my deodorant are all Stetson branded.
Yeah.
So they used to just call me Stetson Man, and then I got Crooked Stetson, and then from there, Bluesman Stetson. And once I put a band together, and not Pompeii and Flames, but a band to play and to carry on with, to where it's not just, you know, a guy in a resonating guitar.
Yeah.
It's going to be called Stetson and the Sinners. And I do still plan on someday getting into Southern Gothic music under the name Crooked Stetson.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
DJ Stetson. They're doing some DJ crap.
Yeah, disc jockeying.
Why are you down here, Brooke?
Start rapping. MC Stetson.
Yeah, do it. That would be great.
No, we already know my rap name is Death Tax. But, and then Pompeii and Flames, our band, which consists of just us, started in a conversation about Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but just the name Pompeii and Flames kind of resonated with us. So we're like, fuck it, that's our band now.
What the?
Trying to reach you's like fishing on rough seas. Wonder how many PETA people are going to get offended. Fucking, I'm having a stroke. Going to get offended because we talked about fishing.
You got smashed, Brooke. Get out. This is the stupidest question. What the heck?
What?
Freaking, what's your ultimate direction for your band? Are you seeking fame and fortune? That's
No, I'm not.
stupidest
And the ultimate
question.
direction, I don't fucking know.
Rod Ripple.
Yeah,
Brooke, you better pick up that trash. I don't want that down there.
That's something I've never heard a woman tell me. I don't want that down there. It's supposed to be about music, and it's slowly turning into bad internet.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your bass guitar? Give me some specs.
Yeah, I know freaking who Carver is. Oh my gosh. Get away, Brooke.
How many siblings do you have?
One, two.
One. I was like, that's not true. I know about Liver.
Liver's my only sibling.
So how old is Brooke?
Brooke, how old are you? 15.
Alright.
Specs on my
On your bass.
really,
Pro shop.
really crappy bass. It's an Encore PK40, which is a British knockoff of a Fender P-Bass.
P bass. Why the
Pretty
fuck my
crappy
PP hard?
pickups. Why my PP hard?
What?
That's great to know, bro.
What did she say?
He said someone wrote that in the hell question.
It was me all along.
Yeah. Clyde, what were you doing in that?
Oh, I just broke in to steal a mop, and I thought, you know what? Just gonna throw in a
Well, now
why
you're
the fuck
pregnant.
my PP.
Vito just kissed you.
Now you're
weird.
pregnant with a dog, baby.
Stop it. Yeah, Brooke, that's weird. Stop it.
So,
God.
don't feel bad. My resonator is a Rogue Spider in black.
I feel
Why-
like we both have I feel like we both have really kind of crappy instruments.
Well, I don't want to call them crappy,
Yeah.
because that would be incorrect to do. Yours, maybe. Because if it's got bad pickups, then yeah, I could see that as crappy, but if it's got a neck, a head, strings, and could be played, I don't really think it's a crappy instrument. But as we talked about my philosophy of blues music, I don't think it'd be right to play the blues using a $2,000 guitar, so a $200 guitar is a lot more fitting. The one thing I'm confused about is my left speaker port, the mesh in it, is literally
Oh my gosh,
broken.
Brooke, get out.
The mesh over the hole is broken. Like, I can push it in, and it's like not... I don't even know what happened, because I baby this thing. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Go ahead. It gets you away.
But right now I'm playing War, which is a crappy guitar. And yes, I have another question before I get into this. Just yes or no, and if so, what? Have you named any of your instruments?
No.
Okay.
But I think I jokingly named this one, but I don't remember what it was. But I know I write some of my friends' names on it. Yeah, like right here on the headstock I wrote some friend of mine's name.
I suppose still got names of my friends on my guitar. Suppose we
Exactly.
aren't really friends anymore. But yeah. I named my guitars. My 5-string acoustic, which I'm holding, is War. My resonator is Death. My brother's first electric guitar, that's got a skull sticker on it, skull amp knobs, and one of the amp knobs is broken off. That is Pestilence. And then my grandpa's old electric guitar that has no strings, a broken amp port. The pickups are broken and wired incorrectly,
Yeah.
and no strings, and a broken bridge. Yeah, that's famine. I named them after the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the Bible. But
If you can't tell, we're all Muslim here.
yeah, I'm a Buddhist.
Dude.
Calling tattoo shop to ask about getting Revelations 21:6 and Revelation 6:8 tattooed on my arms. Yeah, by the way, I'm a Buddhist. But I can't say anything because war, I've gotten the most mileage out of this piece of shit. And it's dinged and scuffed and it was owned twice before me. It's got a message from my step-cousin's old fiance on the back of it that's partially rubbed off. And it's a fucking $60 Spectrum.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so speaking into guitar for emphasis. Yeah, this one's actually a piece of shit, but hey, it sounds okay.
It's gonna be great doing Piff because there's gonna be me with the synth and the freaking like really decent guitar, and then there's gonna be you with your Rogue Spider resonator.
And my lovely voice.
Exactly.
Why are you giving me shit because I use a Rogue Spider?
I'm not giving you crap. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry that I can't afford a fucking $2,400 beard fucking electric resonator gold inlaid strings dick buster 5000. Okay? I'm sorry.
Dude, that would be the funniest thing of all time. Yeah, what kind of guitar do you have? Dude.
A fucking gold inlaid fucking beard dick buster electric resonator. And I do plan on buying a bass guitar, and I have no clue what the fuck I'm going to name it. There's not 5 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Freaking Jesus.
In the day spa. Filling out the... Oh, shit.
You can name it the Harlot of Babylon. Keeping with the whole Revelations. Beelzebub.
Oh god. I'll buy one of those. I'll buy one of those 4-neck guitars. It'll be the 4-headed beast.
Yeah. Or the 7-headed. Oh, get that 9-neck guitar. Cut a few off. Cut a couple off. And then call it the Whore of Babylon.
Why are all your instruments named after apocalyptic things? Because once I get all of them, bad things will happen.
Exactly.
It's like the 13 crystal skulls.
Yeah.
I'll get a couple of bass guitars, an acoustic and an electric, and name them Sodom and Gomorrah. And then I'll destroy them.
Yes. Ah. This is extremely off topic.
As long as it's on the music.
It's not even music
Okay, alright.
But how long do you go without washing your pants? I feel like jeans you can just not wash for a while.
Trying to get advice,
haven't-
low-key, over here.
Dude, I haven't even washed these jeans in like 2 years.
I guess it just depends on variables.
You know,
Because
some musicians are looking at us like, dude, I need to know how long I can last with these pants.
That sounds sexual.
Maybe a little.
No, but sincerely, I think it depends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you could probably go a while if you're an extremely clean person. You don't sweat a lot if you're not extremely active and you don't get into shit. Me, on the other hand, I'm a dumbass. So I come home in suit pants covered in mud. Can't go a week without cleaning those. I literally went to go mudding with my best friend Tyler in a fucking full suit.
That's great.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see.
What's your opinion on Guitar Center?
I'm not the biggest fan of Guitar Center.
No one is, and if you are, you're
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Well, you're probably a newbie. Let's be honest, they're not. They jack their prices up so much.
Yeah, they sniper jacks their prices through the roof.
Oh yeah.
And they're quiet about it while they do it. Nuanced joke there. I wish Sniper Jacks was watching our stream.
Like I went for a tune-up and charged like $50, which isn't bad. But other places I could get it done for like $20, maybe even less.
Here's a question.
Or for free.
What's
if
your
you're-
opinion on coated strings?
I don't really care. I Yeah, I'm not. I have no preference. Right now I've got some slinky strings.
No rubber band bass strings?
No. I mean, I guess it just depends on what kind of sound you're going for. Because when your strings are coated, they're supposed to last longer than if they were uncoated.
See, that's one thing I don't like about coated strings for me, and I wish I got to choose, but my resonator came with coated strings.
Yeah.
And I don't like it because, alright, I'm gonna slide on the 5th string of War. Fuck, I'm striking the frets because this is a shot glass and it panes outward. Fuck me with a fence post. See, that's a crisper sound. It's the 5th string because it doesn't have a 6th one, so it doesn't sound like a slide usually would, but that's fucking beyond the point.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to do it on the 6th string of my resonator, Death. It adds so much resistance and it has a slightly odd sound behind it. I don't know. It's just something, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just the strings in general. Maybe it's something else, but I've never had the problem of it not having enough or too much resistance due to anything other than coated strings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I could see it being personal preference.
Yeah,
Since
I've
we're
got hybrid slinky strings.
Slinky.
So, slinky. Ernie ball. If you wanna support me, I will. I'll be glad to, get strings from you guys for a nice little shout out. It's like, guys, go buy some Ernie ball strings.
But yeah.
Uh, so what were you gonna ask?
Um, low key can't remember.
Yeah.
Um, what's your opinion on those people that use like 50 distortion pedals?
Dude, I'm gonna put all of these distortion pedals that do the same thing, and I'm just gonna turn them all the way up. Distort the living crap out. Just destroy the PA system. I get having a giant pedal board, but like having I get having a few distortion pedals, but having like 50 of them is weird.
Yeah. Because like I see people that are like, yeah, we're cranking them up. All right. It's like, what are you doing?
It's like uh
This is
it's
not a
like those
guitar. It's a
scenes
fucking.
it's like those scenes in movies where it's like, oh man, they're gonna nuke us or whatever. Alright, we gotta get ready on standby or some crap like that. They're flicking switches all over the place. That's
Right?
pretty much what I imagine when someone flicks on all 50 of their distortion pedals.
So, I knew a guy. He was the bassist for my brother's metal band.
Yeah,
And he was an elitist. A string
yeah.
elitist. And he paid like 250 bucks for a pack of solid gold strings because he believed they're the only thing that sounded good.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, I never knew string elitists existed. This person is making an appreciation post for fucking Goofy and the way he supported his son Max. I'm sitting here like, oh
Thank
shit,
you,
it's me and
Goofy.
Blake.
Thank you, Goofy, for all of the support. Um, Thank you for supporting my son. Uh,
What?
pretty good. Something else. This
So,
question. Please list the name, age, school, and respective instrument of each band member.
Bluesman Stetson, 793. The School of Hardcocks, and resonating guitar.
Uh, that's good. How long have y'all known each other? How did you meet? Like less than a year? Maybe a year?
Huh?
Or mutual friends?
Yeah.
Do you have a record label? Are you a member of any music organizations? Yeah,
Do
I'm
we have
part
a
of
record
the...
label? Yeah, PP Hard Records.
Dude, my favorite record label. The band organization that I'm from is the NBA, National Bass Association. Is that the thing? I kind of want to look it up.
If not, we're starting it.
Exactly. National Bass, National Bass Anglers
Bass.
Association, NBAA.
Bah.
National, is this bass or bass? I'm guessing since it's on a lake, it's the bass. National Bass Association of the Deaf. Deaf?
Are you having some trouble there?
I'm kind of disappointed that all of this is for fishing. Alright. Bassmaster.
You know, here's my thing, is if I was asked, like, what the goal was in life, is fucking, you know, as a musician, is it to get rich and famous? Probably not, to be completely fucking honest, because, I mean, if somebody was all like, hey, here's a question. You can A, join our record label, or B, get a really nice hamburger. Hamburger.
Yeah, man.
I fucking love burgers, dude. So here's the question. Fucking burgers, pizza, or tacos?
I feel like pizza is kind of the go-to.
I can understand that.
Dude, I wouldn't go to tacos.
Fuck tacos, honestly.
Yeah. So if I were to go to any of those, it would either be a burger or a pizza. But I probably, I almost want to say I wouldn't go for like an American pizza. I would go for a traditional Italian pizza.
Are you really that pretentious?
We've got a place here, and it's fairly cheap to just get nice.
Do you think you're me or something to be this pretentious?
Yeah, man.
Sweet tea? No. I can only have my organic cold brewed chai tea.
Wait a second, you went to go get some chai.
Shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up, dude. We don't talk about that. This is great because the thumbnail to my stream is literally my background on my YouTube channel, which is my guitar.
Yeah.
Which, that is perfection. No, I like burgers, though.
Yeah, man.
I love a good burger.
Yeah, welcome to the musical podcast where we talk about burgers.
Shut up, bro. And I get roasted by my son for making fun of people who drink chai tea when I'm one of those people. You just went to get chai. Yeah, I did, but why did you have to say it on stream, dude, in front of all my friends? Why'd you have to say it when there's nobody watching, dude?
Oh yeah.
What? What the fuck?
Dude, there was one time a few days ago, I went to bed at 4 in the morning. I woke up at 7 in the morning, and I had to go help out with some crap, digging holes and filling them with cement. And that was crap. I wanted to die all day. 3 hours of sleep and doing manual labor is not the best thing.
That face when Clutch has a song called Burning Beard. Just because in the video his beard catches on fire, he's just like, yeah, fucking burning beard. When you can't think of a song name, so you just write a useless sentence down. Do you mean Fall Out Boy?
Yeah, I guess. Arctic Monkeys with their long
Stop the
title.
world, 'cause I wanna get off.
with
And you.
On,
Oh.
yeah, on you.
Yeah, bro. God, it's turning into bad internet.
It really is.
That's bad. We can't have that happen next time. There will be a next time. There always is, unfortunately.
For some reason, people watch this crap.
Yeah, I know. People seem to enjoy two tall, deep voiced guys talking about shit.
Exactly.
I love how the video before this is update. I'm fucking miserable. I am, though.
Freaking musician talk. New podcast.
Yeah, dude. It gives us something to do when we just want to talk about music. Because people that watch bad internet don't give a fuck about music. Because nobody watches it.
Great gameplay.
Yeah, dude.
Rainbow, Fortnite.
Playing fucking imaginary Go Fish in a video game.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, so here's a question.
Alright.
What is your favorite, what would you say your favorite musician or band of all time is? Let's do it in two parts, musician and then band.
Alright. Favorite musician?
Yes.
Would be Rob Morgan.
Okay.
My hero. And then my favorite band of all time might be Eric Hutchinson.
Doesn't sound like a band.
It's pretty much a band. Just the guy did his own name instead of...
That is pretentious.
Yeah.
I'd have to say my favorite...
Owl City isn't a band. It's just one guy.
Yeah. Bluesman Stetson isn't a band either. It's one guy. But I will say, my favorite... I'm sorry for the lack of visual. I accidentally hit a button. The one thing I will say is my favorite musician of all time is Tom Waits. And my favorite band of all time is probably O'Death.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely adore O'Death. Good friends with Greg Jamie. So, yeah. That is such an ugly guitar. No, do me a favor.
Or,
Do you want me to send you the link, or... Yeah, I'll just send it to you. I'm gonna send you a link to a song I really enjoy, and this is something I wish I could do, but I'm not that talented. I mean, basically, what it is they're playing everything, but it's edited in, kind of like how Davey 504 does shit.
yeah.
But anyway, here it is. This is a band I enjoy. So, watch that and just fucking look at that. First things first, it's a really good song, so you should listen to it, but... and see how they do it, but also just... his guitar.
Oh man.
And not the white one, the red one. The white one with the gold accents is actually nice looking, but it's a Gresh.
Mm-hmm. Greshes are all great.
Yeah.
I've
Thanks,
had
Sweetwater.
Greshes.
What do you think of her bass guitar? Don't you love how she's only playing one string?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Is
look
that,
at that fucking
Jazzmaster?
pink and red. Oh god.
I think that's is that a Fender Jazzmaster?
Which one? Hers or his?
Jaguar. His.
That pink and red guitar?
Yeah.
I don't know. The tuning
Dude, I
head looks
think that
weird.
might Actually, that might be a Jaguar.
I like his white guitar. It's nice. But
Yeah.
they both also have really ugly profiles.
Is that a Mustang?
Fender Mustangs. You mean the worst guitar ever made?
Yep. Except for the California series. But
Don't tell that to somebody we know.
yeah.
I love through part of this they're singing through telephones.
Yeah.
Have you gotten there yet?
So yeah, it is a Jaguar.
It is?
What I thought. Yeah.
Did you find one like it?
Oh, I should look up a pink and red one.
Yeah. Because if so, I will fucking buy it. Actually, I probably won't, because I probably want stupid fucking money for it. Yeah, I'm sure. I've used 23 gigabytes of data. Fuck off. So, I figured the stream's probably gone on long enough.
Yeah.
I don't think we really have anything else musical I need to talk about. I kind of want to talk about
Alright,
burgers.
This is kind of it. But I found one.
Like, the three things I enjoy in life are blue raspberry slushies, juicy burgers, and getting my dick sucked.
I mean, who doesn't, you know?
And get playing music.
That's a Jazzmaster, though.
But if an attractive woman was all like, "Hey, I'll get you a blue raspberry slushy, a juicy burger, and suck your dick, I'd give up my music career, let's be honest.
DJ sends me a post saying, I only like AM. My favorite song of Arctic Monkeys is Do I Wanna Know. Oh man.
Oh, that's actually a really nice guitar to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I do genuinely enjoy that, but it's a Fender, and it's $1,300. It's weirdly put together, though. I don't like the contrast on the back of the guitar from the neck's wood to the red color. It just looks like fucking garbage.
No.
I'd rather have an Epiphone.
Oh man, that triggered me.
What triggered you?
Epiphone.
What's
I'd much
wrong
rather have an Epiphone.
with Epiphone?
Oh man, don't even get me started.
I own an Epiphone. Pestilence
you
is
do.
an Epiphone.
I know it is.
What's so wrong with that?
Epiphone Les Paul Special.
Yes, it is. Why do you know so much about my guitar?
In worn black. Because I freaking looked at one before.
What's your problem with Epiphone?
I'm not the biggest fan of Epiphone.
Give me a reason.
They're just they're crap.
Well, this is the last episode of Musician Talk, so I'm gonna fucking off myself. No.
Oh my god.
It was my brother's first electric guitar. I just kind of have it. I like the way it sounds. It doesn't matter how good the guitar is, especially with an electric. All that matters is your amp and the fucking pedals. No, but I'm
Pretty
pissed
much.
because that was the slide guitar issue of Guitar Player magazine, and I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Do they know who I am? I'm Slide Guitar Daddy.
I don't think they do know who you are.
Most people don't, for that matter.
Oh really? I thought everyone knew you.
I mean, in one way or another. They see me when they close their eyes at night. I am the dark.
You received an invite, Party John Seed.
Well, guys, thank you for watching Musician Talk. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. This will be around. We will be making more Musician Talks, guaranteed, or your money back.
I actually hope they didn't watch it, because let's be honest here, it was nothing but the Alpha Pack screen.
Fuck you, dude! It's a podcast. It's us talking.
Exactly, yeah.
So they can suck fat dicks. I don't. Oh god. Insults the viewers while the stream's still running. If you guys are really that mad about it being an Alpha Pack screen and you're not here to hear us talk, suck a fat dick. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Catch you next time on the next episode of Musician Talk.
What would they be here for?